Hey everybody, my name's Paul and welcome back to my live stream cello lesson. Today we're gonna continue with the Haydn Cello Concerto in C major, and we're gonna look at the second movement today, the Adagio. So let's just jump right in. This is the second movement, and usually in concertos, the second movement is the slow movement, and this one in particular, you'll hear there's a lot of materials, thematic materials that it kind of borrows from the first movement, but it's presented in a much more tranquil, much more relaxed context. So let's start. So the intro is going to be just the orchestra, and as before, the orchestra is going to play the thematic materials, and then we're going to repeat that. So let's just take a look at how this first phrase goes. And remember, just a warning, this movement will only be in basically tenor clef and treble clef. You'll hardly ever see bass clef. So if you're not used to reading either of those clefs, maybe this will be an opportunity to kind of just practice that. So yeah, remember that we're in tenor clef here, and let's just quickly look at this part. We're going to start up bow, and then we're going to change the bowing here. And it's really slow. Dot, 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 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and it sounds slow, but remember there's 30-second notes and things like that, so it'll be a little bit more tricky. All right, let's start. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and chain and 2. So like that until there. So remember here, 1 and 1 and 2 and, right? 1 E and 2 E and 3. 1 E and Andy. 1 E and 2. 1 E and bum 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 bum. So basically count 16th notes, quote unquote, for every 8th notes, right? Well, okay, 4 subdivisions for all the 8th notes. 1 E and N E and 1 E and 2 E and like that. So that's gonna be the rhythm. So if we start from the beginning again, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 1 and. So the rhythm here is very important, mainly because it's so slow and there's a lot of different subdivision. So yeah. Let's just keep on going. So the second line, measure 19, goes like this. We're going to be in 4th position, 4 2 2. So 2 2. And down bow. Like this. the notes are pretty simple, right? It's pretty straightforward. We're gonna stay on the D string. And then stay on the D string. And we're gonna do a harmonic. Stay, 4, 2, 1. Stay. And then the next line, measure 23, we're going to, instead of playing that D on the D string, right, we're going to change the string, change to the A string because it's going to be a little bit brighter. So it'll be up, down, so you're going to change the bow hit and then change shift. Four, two, one. Two and very slow, but it's kind of confusing sometimes. The rhythm can get confusing. I highly recommend counting all the subdivisions in 16th, or excuse me, 32nd. So 1, 2, and 1, and 2, 1, dun 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 dun. So that's gonna be the hard part, doing the rhythm. But let's just try the yellow phrase now, just so we have the fingering and everything, right? So 1 and 2 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and two and 1 and 2 and 1 and so that's the first phrase. I got distracted by counting, so so that's the beginning phrase, right? I think I'll go into the details about phrasing and things like that later. Let's first get through all the fingering and how the piece is structured. All right, moving on. Let's go to the next part. Next part, let's go until here. So here, it's gonna be the same thing as the beginning, only we're going to be doing it on the D string. So instead of starting on this C, we're going to start on this C. It's going to be a little bit more opaque, a little bit darker sounding. So that's why we play it there. So same thing, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and change it and so there, that D, you can find that D as a harmonic and you put your first finger there. So make sure you have clearance with your elbow. Same fingering. And then here is where it gets different. So everything is same. Only that we play on the D string. Same fingering. Four, two, two, one. Down bow. Up. And then here we change to a different phrasing. 2, 1, 2, 1, 4, 2, A. So here we go and. That should be different. Let me just write the fingering or bowing here. So here it's going to be up, down, up. Up, down, up. So shift all the way up. Measure 31, right? And then D. So we shift down to fourth position. Here, shift down to first position, harmonic, back down. So try to get that clean. And then we have this scale here. And shift, shift, and then third finger. And then we're gonna go to D string for this C. So we're just gonna stay in position. And then it's gonna be right there. It's going to be a minor sixth. So it's going to be major 6. So it'll be wider. Your fingers are going to be a whole step apart. Right? So and dun 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 dun. Dun and let's write some bowing. So dun da di ra da di di. So that's going to be the entire light blue phrase, right? So that's how the phrase is going to get developed a little bit. This is going to be like the second phrase here, right? So let's try the light blue phrase all the way through. So 2E and 2E and 1. Oh, sorry, we gotta play on the D string. So and 1E and 2E and 1E and 2E and 1E and oh, sorry. And we stop there. Of course, I'm playing it pretty much a tempo. So if the rhythm is confusing you a little bit, play it slower, right? Play it slower. Count out the 16th notes like how I am. 1 E and 1 E and because that will give you a reference for the 32nd notes as well as the 8th notes, right? So for now, when you're learning the piece, count in 8, right? 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 1 E and like that. All right. So now that we have the light blue phrase, let's continue on to measure 35. Measure 35 is probably a more difficult part for many reasons, and we'll go through it together. And we'll go until here. All right, first, let's take a look at these. So one reason why this part is difficult is because it's in the thumb position. And we're going to, so we end here. And then where you put your G, you're going to place your thumb, right? And then you're also going to bar the thumb down, so you're doing a 5th. So that's going to be one of the most difficult part, is trying to play the 5th with the thumb. If you're having trouble finding the G, another way you can find that G is your first finger is going to be the harmonic D, right? And then the G, you can tune the G because it's going to be the perfect fourth up. So this is what you want to do. So 1 and. That's what you're going to do. Let's try it separately, both separately, starting directly with the where the double stops begin, right? So that's the difficult part. Let's write down the fingering for the two thumb, right? So the thumb will carry over all the way. Until here. So, how you can practice that position is practice the scale right there. That's the only way you can get comfortable right there. And it's going to take a while for you to develop the strength. Think of it like a strength training, right? One way you can do strength training on your thumb is place your thumb, only your thumb, and try to press down without having your fingers down, right? And try not to have your wrist or part of your hand on the shoulder of the cello right here. Try not to touch that part. So simply pushing down, right? It doesn't matter where you are. Only thing is, the higher you go up here, it's going to get a little bit more difficult because the tension of the string gets higher, right? So it'll take more strength to push down over there, further down. So that's one way you can practice the strength training. So what I do is I just push down, hold, let go, push down, hold, let go, push down, hold, let go. And do that maybe 10 times, right? Just, it's kind of like doing push-ups. So do that a little bit, and then you'll probably also feel a little bit of pain on the thumb, just because the string is digging into your thumb, right? But do it a little bit a day, and eventually you'll develop the callus as well as the strength to hold this. So that part. And so what I do is slur the last two. Like that. Sorry, wrong way. That's down bow, up, down, up, down. And it's going to be the same thing the second time around. So, same fingering. Honestly, I kind of just keep my finger, let me see. It's up to you. You can stay in position like that, right here, right? Or you can do that. So you can do how it's written, or you can do thumb if you want. Personally, I like to do the thumb because you're in that position already. But it's really up to you. If you don't feel comfortable doing the half step in between the thumb and first finger, you're more than welcome to switch to the first finger, right? Da-dee-da-dee, up, 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 up. Da-da-da-da-da, 2, 1, 2. All right. No. Okay. So, okay, so the bowing, apparently I'm doing it differently. No, that one was right. But in the double string section, I changed the bow direction. So it's like this. Up bow on the F and D. That way you just have a little bit more consistency in the sound, right? Yeah, I think there. So I'm thinking, once again, you can do one, or I like to do thumb, but if you don't like that, you can, go back to the first finger. But for me, try to get used to playing with your thumb a lot. It becomes really helpful in more advanced repertoire, and in general, up here when you're up on the upper positions. You're going to want to know how to play with your thumb. especially pressing, especially doing vibrato with the thumb, that takes a lot of practice. So, yeah, something to note there. All right, let's try from 39. So, and 42. Okay, so this is up bow, this is down, up, down. And I changed the bow here, so it's going to I'm going to tie the first three, then tie the last four together like that. All right, so basically it's a fake out. It should end there, right? But we repeat. And so that's the fake out basically. And then it starts to go into, so I would call the next part kind of like a transition maybe. Well, it's not a transition, it's like a final statement of the beginning section. The exposition, as they say. All right, so before I play that, before we move on, let's go from the beginning of the purple part, which is measure 35, until the end, measure 46. So, we're gonna end here, and 2, and purple. And piano. So in this part, I'll go over in the end about dynamics and things like that. But here, basically, you have to match your sound against an orchestra, right? So there are a couple of tricks to doing that. One way is using a lot more bow. Pretty much half my bow, almost half my bow for the 30-second notes. So that's one way to do it. There are other tricks I'll talk about later. But yeah, so that's how the purple section goes. I would probably say that is one of the more difficult parts in this piece. For the scales up here, remember in C major, your reference here would be your first finger on A, harmonic A, and its whole half, minor third up. So that's how you can find that position easily, just harmonic and then replace, put your first finger on that. So yeah, so basically it's the third octave, excuse me, of C major scales. So it's the normal C major fingering. So practice it slowly if you're not used to that shifting. One tip is just make sure you lift your elbow and go over the shoulder here, right? Okay, let's go to the last bit of this page. And here's one of our few notes that we play in bass clef, right? So for one note, we go into bass clef, and then immediately after we go to treble clef this time. So first, it's open G, and then the next is a high D. So the high D is going to be your octave D, right? From the harmonic D. But that's how you find the note, right? And then how you can find the position would be just replace that third finger with your first finger. Or you can, tune your harmonic with the thumb, and your first finger is where it should be. So. And here is another position that we need to work on. So 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 1, 0. Another way you can find that position is also that E will be harmonic. Let's just play this part separately, notes separately. So that's C will be with your thumb. And here, your third finger, we're going to, instead of half, so it'll be, the third finger is going to be slightly extended. Right? So on the D string, between all the fingers are going to be whole steps, right? So, but that octave F is going to be half step. Stretch. So 3 open, 1 open, not open, 3 thumb, open thumb. How about this? Three, 1, right? This will carry on. Right, that one's one of the more difficult ones. And then second finger. So basically it's an arpeggio. Oh. Sorry. Yeah, 2 thumb, third finger, 2, 1, 3, thumb, 2. All right, so. That second finger is also going to be harmonic. And then, right? So, another thing. That's probably this interval is not the best. It's really not fun to play. And then here we repeat the pattern, same thing, right? 2 thumb 3, 2 1 3 thumb 2. So okay, so here you're gonna stretch back. Three. One thumb, 1, 2 thumb, 1 thumb. Okay, so. Here, stretch back. Half step, right? Stretch. Like that. So this part is quite difficult, but once again, you need to have your thumb position really solid, especially up here. This thumb position is kind of uncomfortable because it's very high up and there's a lot of tension up here, right? So let me just write some note, or I'm going to highlight some notes that you can use as a reference to tune. So for example, that harmonic, that's a harmonic, that's a harmonic, and that's a harmonic. All right, so now that we have the notes, if you add the bowing to it, it gets a little bit more trickier. So four slur. It gets weird because the arpeggio starts on the up bow, right? This starts up bow, and then that is down. So that's gonna be the green part. The green part, I would say, is also another difficult section. So take your time learning it. It's gonna take a little bit more time than usual to build up your strength and your thumb. So yeah, you're not gonna get it in one day. Maybe in a week you can, but make sure you don't overdo it so you form blisters on your thumb. That's just no fun. So now that we have all the fingerings, at least for the first page, let me play through it, and then depending on the time, I think I might take a break. But yeah, let's just play from the beginning, and we'll see how I feel. All right. So the orchestra is gonna do the da 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 da, one, done, and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and. Piano and top D. Ah. 42. To E and to E and all right. So that's going to be the first page. It's quite difficult. Take your time with it. Definitely build up your strength in your thumb position and work on the tuning. Tuning is going to be quite difficult, but you have all the reference notes, right? You have all the harmonics, the strings that you can tune with open strings. So use that to your advantage, okay? All right. As always, if you have any questions, you can drop a comment and I'll try and get back to it. Yeah, thanks for watching and happy practicing. Bye.